Outbreak here on 100.1 The Planet, New Hampshire's modern rock. Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com with you again this week from Styling Souls here in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. StylingSouls.com for more information on that. And as usual, Rob Kleiner is working the board. Rob from Captain Chet Lawson Snake Oil Review, Tide Records, which you can find at TideRecords.com. The music board, which you can find at themusicboard.info, and a brand new website, which I've been told I can talk about tonight, yourband.info. Definitely check that out. That's a very cool site, and all the local musicians in the area are going to want to get on that. And I am sitting here with Timothy Paul from the Timothy Paul Band. How are you?
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Good. And with you, even though she said she's not going to talk, Susan Cohen, your publicist.
That's right. She's here.
How are you, Susan?
I'm well. How are you, Matt?
Good. See, I already got you to talk.
She spoke.
It didn't hurt.
And we have a lot to get to, but let's start off with a song. And you brought some tracks from your disc home. What do you want to play?
I don't know. Let's start it off on an upbeat note, and a song about how the winds of time take us from one age bracket to the next, and it just keeps going, called Wind of Time.
All right, Wind of Time from the Timothy Paul Band here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
It's a timeless, endless winter, free from every grace. There's just no chance to stop and feel the grace. Suddenly the air, and days before the wrinkles, I never had a care. Challenging your mind till you overstep the line. It's work, no play. Every second of your day, soon you will forget your purpose. Meaning will have gone astray. Leave their souls and made the hurt begin. It's the hustle, bustle, constant rustle. Always watch you with their eyes. The minutes burn holes through your soul, reminding you there's just no time. It's time. You can never find the time. Keep on challenging your mind till you overstep the line. It's work, no play. Every second of your day, soon you will forget your purpose. A meaning will have gone astray.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet, New Hampshire's modern rock. Matt Connerton sitting here with Timothy Paul from the Timothy Paul Band and his publicist, Susan Cohen. So this is interesting. This is the third guest we've had in a row where there's been some sort of family relation in the band. We had Let Us Not Forget and Akrita in the last couple of weeks, who both have brothers in the band. And you're a father and son team, correct?
Exactly. I think that's really cool. It's when families get to do this kind of thing together.
And your son is Timmy J?
Timmy J.
Okay.
Timmy J. Yeah.
But it's not just the two of you. You're actually a four-piece, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
I've teamed back up again with after 28 years with my old drummer from the band Adria, Billy Holbrook.
Okay.
We were part of the 80s scene in Kenmore Square, and back in those days with Jim Montgomery, Duke and the Drivers, the Cars, and it was just a crazy, wild time back then.
Yeah.
But and Billy and I parted ways for a while, and I went out and toured with show bands, and he stuck in the local scene, and then we just found our way back to each other again, and it's really worked out really well.
So have you been doing this your whole life, or your whole adult life anyway?
I don't remember a time since I was about 16 years old that music was not part of my life one way or the other, whether it was full-time, in touring, or, the local band scene, the local club scene. But I don't really remember a time when music wasn't part of my life, no.
What do you do in the band? Do you sing?
I'm the lead singer and the bass player.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does your son do?
Timmy's our lead guitarist.
Okay.
And he better not sing.
Really?
No, he's from the grunge area, from that genre of music. I mean, and I call it the angst guitar, because he's been able to mold that that genre of grunge and heavy metal with a lot of what we've been writing lately in the R&B, pop contemporary, and it's just we call it the angst guitar. It's a nice blend. It's a nice sound. It's a nice feel.
So what does it give you a little extra edge?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How long has he been in the band?
He started this project with me.
Oh, okay.
The two of us started this project.
Cool.
Together. Yeah. He, as a father, I wasn't. When we first moved to the North Country in New Hampshire, I was not doing music. And then, of course, music is like a virus. It just seems to keep coming back.
Sure.
And it just came back in a big way, and I decided that I want to start writing again, so I built Riverside Recording Studios up in Berlin, New Hampshire. And Timmy J was in a lot of the local bands, the local scene, and hooked up with a drummer and a keyboard player from, Rich LeBonville and Will Cintrone from up in the North Country. And it was not meant to be anything else but just, a good hobby. We recorded some songs, took some of the old Adria songs, we wrote some new songs, and we got involved with the internet promoting of the music, and like a lot of bands are doing now, it's one of the best ways to get it out there. And we got a phone call from Tate Music Group out in Mustang, Oklahoma, who had just began, they're one of the biggest book publishing companies in the country. And they had just started a new division, music, and started a record company. And one of their folks, I forget her name, Rachel Sweden had heard Wind of Time on the internet.
Okay.
We've had tremendous success with numberonemusic.com. We really have, getting close to 700,000 hits.
No kidding.
In the last couple years. We're ranked number 100 nationwide on Number One Music. And so it's been very good to us, and the fan base has been very, very strong. And that's where they found us, on Number One Music.
Now, what is numberonemusic.com? I'm not familiar with it. Is it a...
Number One Music is owned by MySpace.
Okay.
And in short, when MySpace first came into being, it was the whole idea behind it was to promote independent music and bands, but it ended up being a social network on top of it, and it just got so cluttered that the band's theme got lost.
Sure.
So Tom created Number One Music strictly for bands.
Okay.
And Rascal Flatts is there, Guns N' Roses in there with us. Jason Aldean is there with us. Lincoln Park. So yeah, and it's really done a great job in promoting on the internet independent music as well as recorded bands.
So whose idea was it for you and your son to play together? Did he approach you? Did you suggest it to him? Did it just kind of happen?
I think it just kind of happened.
Really?
And there was no intent either. You'll read in the bio that it started off in the garage at home, and it wasn't a studio at the time. It was a dirt floor and just a bunch of acoustic guitars, and we had a buck stove. We had a wood stove to keep us warm in the wintertime, and Richie used to pick up little pieces of metal and clink them together while we were writing and arranging, and Willie had his Casio, his Casio keyboard. And I'm not ranking on Casio. Hey, great stuff, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It just evolved into the recording studio, and then with Tate and where we are right now. So it's been quite a journey.
So tell me about the recording studio, Riverside. What is
Riverside
it called?
Recording Studios,
Okay.
riversiderecording.com.
Okay.
It's a full-blown 24-track analog digital recording studio, and the intent was, to record us. Of course, I'm an entrepreneur, a businessman, and bring a recording studio, a state-of-the-art recording studio, to Berlin, New Hampshire, and to that area, to that region, and help out the local musicians. And if you go on the website, you'll see that we have everything from 24-track analog and digital to 360-track virtual, and we've got all the outboard that you need, to do your professional recording, and the CD home was recorded there,
Okay.
and those tracks were shifted over to tape music for the final mastering and mixing down in Oklahoma. So if that's what musicians need, that's what we need. We needed that to be able to do that. So that was why we made the investment.
Is there kind of a separate music scene in Berlin that people south of that area might not know about? I've heard that there's bands up there that that you don't necessarily hear about down this way, but that there's actually a lot of music going on up there. Is that true?
Yeah, it's very true. And I credit Timmy J for it wasn't much of a music scene. I guess when you talk about the family thing, when I first moved up there from Boston, now you're talking about a musician myself that was did a lot of touring throughout New England and Canada and Thetford Mines, Sandadell. I was with Boston Pace, so I was living that lifestyle, doing that life thing.
Sure.
And when I moved up to Berlin, I happened to hook up with a drummer by the name of Richie LeBonville, but they own LeBonville Incorporated, which is a logging company, and they make chaps and chains and all of that kind of thing. And I found through playing with Richie the first year or two I was up there is that most of the bands at that time were cover bands and were family orientated. They were brothers that that worked in the mill, worked in logging, worked in the woods, and their spare time hobby was they put a band together and
okay.
Logging's version of the Jacksons, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all it was. And Timmy J, I guess, influenced from, because he was just a baby when I was in music, throughout New England, was influenced, by a lot of what I was doing. I didn't realize it at the time. And he got involved with the music scene. He really brought a lot of grunge, punk, and heavy metal, and he brought that out. And he was doing a lot of that. And he was with a band called Heaven Sight. They were really that was a heavy metal band if
Really?
I'd ever heard one. But they just had that little knack, and they had gotten the opportunity, and I went with them down to the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston. They were doing a show with several other bands, and they got up and they did their 15, 20 minutes, and one of the record company executives from, I think it was Epic, if I'm not mistaken, walked right over to him, and I was sitting right there, and he said to him, if I could sign you guys tonight, I would sign you. But that's when CBGB's was still open, and they wanted them to go down there, but I think some cold feet took place. And
No kidding.
That type of thing. And, they just never followed up on it.
Sure.
It was fun, though. It was really fun.
It worked out for the best, right?
Well, it kind of worked out because that band disbanded, and we were just putting together the TimothyPaul band in that project, and Timmy was looking for, to keep playing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, how long has this project existed now?
This is 2005.
Okay.
Am I right? Am I right, Sue?
Yes, that's right.
2005.
Got her to talk again.
Yes, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, let's play another track. What do you want to play from your disc Home?
Well, see, we're talking about family, and we're talking about Timmy J, and and that type of thing, and families in bands, which I think is a fabulous thing. Song "Little Eyes."
Little Eyes?
That was pretty much written, and I have his permission to talk about this now, but Timmy went through a very bad time in his life with alcohol and that type of thing, and in rehab, and at the same time, his son was being born.
Okay.
And as a father, you got to watch his son go through that, but at the same time, trying to stay connected. And that's pretty much where that song came from.
Okay. All right, so this is Little Eyes from the Timothy Paul Band here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
Smile, notice tonight your biggest prize, your self-alive. As you grow and love, they'll be what you need.
Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet, New Hampshire's modern rock. Matt from IPMNation.com sitting here at Styling Souls with Timothy Paul from the Timothy Paul Band. So now you did mention before the break that song Little Eyes, when you were talking about that, your son has a son. So I have to ask, is there a long-term plan to get him in the band as well? And
he's only 3. So.
Yeah, well, a couple more years, you can get him some lessons, and
I guess I'll be retired by that point, and I'll be able to sit back and watch. You never know.
Yeah,
you really, really never know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're surprised, but we're thankful at the same time. I mean, I'm thankful. You don't really get to. Not many musicians, and I'm sure musicians listening to this will probably agree with me, to be able to be at the level that we were in 79, 80, and 81 and enjoy it, have a good time. I mean, we had the band Adria had signed a contract with Epic Records, and Rolling Stone magazine was our sponsor to put the demo tapes together. And we were recording those at Easton Sound in Methuen. Pat Costa owned that studio at the time. So that was an exciting time. It didn't work out. And when you get to that level, you pretty much say, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You probably never see that opportunity happen again.
Sure.
But for some reason, it has happened again, for me anyway. And it's so exciting to watch Timmy at his age.
Right.
To be able to go through this and get at this to whatever level we bring it to. I mean, that's the name of the game. And hopefully it lasts.
Do you and he write the songs together? Do all 4 of you write together? How does that work?
It's always been collaboration.
Okay.
It's always been collaboration through the members of the band. Voodoo was written by the whole band at the time. Wind of Time was written by me and Billy Holbrook when we were back in the band Ages, so we brought that back up to modern times. And then Home was written by myself and the keyboard player at the time, Willie. But it was always collaboration. Timmy and I have collaborated on a lot of things.
Do you guys tour a lot? Do you play a lot around New England? Or?
Well, it was supposed to be just a recording project, so to speak, you know what I mean? And then Sue comes back into everybody's life, and she's been our publicist, and we call her nickname's the Bulldog.
Well, it's funny because when I talked, I think it was during our first phone conversation, I said to her, from what you've told me, it almost sounds like you're more like a manager than a publicist, because it sounds like, you do a lot more than just handle the publicity part of it, right? I mean, you help with the booking, I assume, correct?
With the booking, talk to the radio stations, talk to the press, with the record company, whatever needs to be done.
Sure.
When he doesn't have time. I'd rather him be playing music.
Right. Now, do you have any prior experience before working with this
none.
Band? No?
None. I'm in the insurance business.
Yeah. So you just kind of dove in and on-the-job training?
I'm a quick study.
Are you?
Plus,
Yeah.
I've known Tim most of my life. So.
Sure. Excellent.
We actually graduated high school together.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much when we started going back to class reunions. When you hit your 35th year, that's when you start getting back in touch with your class again, and that's how. And she took a great interest in the business, and of course, her insurance company insures Riverside Recording Studio.
Oh, okay.
So it's a natural fit.
Yeah.
But it was also her door knocking and her aggressive nature that opened the doors for us to be able to get back into the Boston scene at the Hennessy's and Copperfields down in Boston. We're going to be doing shows down there through October.
Great.
And up in the Whittier House, of course, on the 31st of July, we're doing a show at the Whittier House. So she's right. She's given us the ability, by just her sheer passion for what she's doing, to be able to concentrate on the band and concentrate on music, and not have to juggle the business side of it,
right,
so to speak.
Right. Plus, I would assume too, the recording studio must keep you fairly busy, also, in addition to the band.
Well, it was meant to do both. Again, I'm a businessman. I mean, I owned a distributorship up in Berlin for some 10 years, and but the Timothy Paul Band pretty much has overwhelmed the studio, with what we're going to do, with what we're doing. So.
Absolutely.
That's great.
So what's the long-term plan? You have another CD that you're already working on.
Yep. We, last June we released Home, and we just never stopped writing. And then, of course, the song Sidewalks was written, and
is Home a full disc, or is it an EP?
Disc.
Okay.
Oh, it's a full disc. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and of course, you can take the guy out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the guy. And I have a passion for the city, and I have a passion for Boston. It's where I was born, and hopefully at some point in time to get back there. And and Timmy J has a passion for the city. He loves the city. So, and I always knew in the back of my mind, I said, I'm going to write a city song sometime. You just know that. And that's where Sidewalks came from, and that's why. So we decided, okay, well, if that came to be, and then why, let's do a concept type of CD next time, and focus on, the city and city life and city things that go on in the city.
Sure. When do you think that disc will be done? Obviously, you've got a lot of shows coming up, so are you going to record in the winter? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's, pretty much, I like to hibernate during the winter. So.
Sure.
But, and hopefully next spring, we release this one Home in June. And if we can keep on a schedule like that, then, we'd like to release Sidewalks in June.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are you going to be doing that through the same record label?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We still have a contract with them, so I mean,
right.
Everything's negotiable, I guess, right? That's the sad part. That's the hard part about this business. Is at some point in time, it is a business.
Absolutely.
And to keep moving forward and keep doing what you're doing, you gotta take that music hat off and put the business hat on, and
you really do,
and do the business thing. Yeah.
No doubt. Well, let's play another track from your current disc, Home. What do you want to play?
Let's do the title track.
Okay.
You see, we're talking about Home.
All right. Yeah. So this is Home from Home, from the Timothy Paul Band on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
Papa's getting this house feels like a home. And I never need to feel alone. When the two of you together, then the two of you are home.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet, New Hampshire's modern rock. Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com, sitting here with Timothy Paul from the Timothy Paul Band and Susan Cohen, his publicist, who we've gotten to speak several times now. I told you that's why we put the mic there, just in case. That's the way. That's the way.
She's
it always
getting better
happens.
at it.
Okay, Matt.
So, Tim, you've been at this a long time. Do you have any advice for? I mean, I assume in the band you're constantly giving advice to your son and whoever else.
Not lately.
No.
No, I've been getting the advice.
Really? No kidding.
Shut up, Dad.
Well, do you have any advice? Because we assume that the listening audience for a show like this it's a lot of people who are active in the scene and either may have been active in the scene for a while or are just starting out in the scene and have no idea what they're doing. Do you have any advice or thoughts for people just starting out?
I'm not big on the advice part about it. I handle everything as, unfortunately, as a business. It's about the song.
Sure.
If no matter what, you can pour as much money and time and effort into it. It's about the song. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's all about. And when you have a good song, and it carries a good message and it touches people, I had a businessman once tell me. He said, do what it takes to grow the bottom line. Mm-hmm. If you're going to sit there and watch it, it's never going to grow. Just do it. Just do it. If you got a good song. And Ed Perry from WATD Radio, when we were down there talking with him, Ed's and I actually missed this. Thank God I got Timmy J with me because he remembers half the stuff. I guess that's old age does that to me. But he said that Ed had said, I have to sit in this room with a lot of musicians and a lot of people that think they have something. He said, and I have to tell them they don't. He said, but in the case of the Timothy Paul Band, that's not true.
That's great.
So, but it's about the song. If anybody was to ask me in one word, it's the song.
Well, yeah, because even if you're looking at it from a business perspective, if you don't have a good product, then you've got nothing to sell.
Frito-Lay didn't get to be where they are right now because they have bad chips.
Exactly.
How's that for an analogy?
That's great. They happen to be one of our sponsors, so
there you go.
Not really.
I'll open that door for you.
I actually don't think they are, but that's all right.
That's too bad.
Do you? What's your take on the way the business? Obviously, the business has changed a lot since you started out because of the internet. Do you think it's easier now? Do you think it's harder? What do you think?
It's to me, it's it's not. It's just my take on it. I think it's a lot easier for musicians to get their music out there because of the internet. I granted that. I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, God, if me and Billy had ever had that, I mean, back in the 80s when we were doing our thing, I think we probably would have gone farther quicker. But I also think that because of the internet and because of technology, I don't think we have, and I don't mean this in a bet and to insult anybody. I don't think we have the quality of musicians that we had back when I come from an era when you're talking about bands like Deep Purple and Aerosmith and Jay Giles and I mean and the list goes on and on and on. You had to play live. Mm-hmm. There was no hiding behind technology. There was no hiding behind the internet and compressors and condensers and so on and so forth. Nuh-uh. It was there. And I remember we used to record at a recording studio in Situate, Massachusetts when we first started recording with the band Adria before we moved up to Pat Costa's studio called the Oceanus. And to edit, we used a razor blade and Scotch tape.
Sure.
That's how we edited.
Sure.
And or you just had to keep redoing it over and over again until you got it right.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's but it's been a good tool. It's an excellent tool for marketing and promoting. Absolutely one of the best tools, and a lot of music that never would have gotten out there is getting out there, and that's a good thing, because I think I speak for a lot of musicians to say that although record companies have made a lot of people a lot of money, they've also stopped a lot of people from hearing a lot of good music, and that to me is just wrong.
Sure.
That is, and peyote still lives today. You can't tell me it doesn't.
Right.
I'll be the first one to tell anybody, and peyote still lives today. And I'm sure, and Sue is probably a perfect example of somebody coming into the business that's never been in the business before, and hooking up with. Well, she brought us to you guys at Perry and the other radio stations. She learned very quickly that it still lives.
Yeah, payola and all that
still lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, where can we find the Timothy Paul Band online?
Well, two places I like for people to go to. Obviously, we have a MySpace.
Sure.
So it's MySpace/the Timothy Paul Band. We also like to direct people to numberOnemusic.com/the Timothy Paul Band.
Okay.
And I hope more musicians get involved with Number One Music, because it's just for bands. It's not a social network. And it's a great. If you go to numberonemusic.com and you go to the search engine and plug in band location and type in New Hampshire, you'll see a lot of bands lately. I mean, when we first got on Number One Music, I don't think there was 10 bands. Now there's like 5 or 6 pages. Of course, we're the number one band in New Hampshire, but I mean,
excellent.
That's okay. That's all right. But it's getting a lot more exposure on Number One Music for.
That's great.
And then of course RiversideRecording.com.
Excellent. Okay. Very cool. Well, thanks very much for being here with us this week.
Matt, thank you very much for having us, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time and putting this out there for everybody to hear and everybody to listen to. And anytime we're in the area, I hope we can hook up and
great. Great. No, thank you. And we're going to play one more track from home in a minute, but first I want to tell everybody you're going to play. Do you have time to do a couple songs acoustically?
Okay, sure.
Okay. After the interview, we're going to record a couple
for $10.
A couple performances. Sure, I'll see what we have for change. Actually, we got a jar of money over there. No, but
we could get arrested.
we're gonna record Tim doing a couple of acoustic songs, which will be available on IPMNation.com to listen to. So after you listen to this interview on the planet, please go to IPMNation.com to check out that little bit of bonus content that we're going to have. So that'll be very, very cool. Also want to remind everyone to check out the many sites of Rob Kleiner, who's doing all kinds of cool stuff on the internet. TideRecords.com. What else is there? TheMusicBoard.info, which is a great tool for local musicians in the area, or really anywhere. And, of course, the new site, which is YourBand.info. And, of course, check out Rob's band, Captain Chet Lawson Snake Oil Review, and that has a new website coming up also.
Rob, can we do a show together sometime? There you go. See?
You should. His band's really good, and I'm
go.
not just saying that because he's sitting there.
We get the Planet to sponsor it. Here we go. How's that? All right.
There we go. So what else? And I want to remind everyone we're doing the show from Styling Souls. Go to stylingsouls.com for more information on this wonderful place. and you can listen to this and download it on IPMNation.com. And once again, thanks, Tim. Thank you, Susan. And
Thank you, Matt.
What do you want to wrap up the show with?
Voodoo.
Okay.
Voodoo is a true story, but I'm not telling that one.
All right. So this is Voodoo from the Timothy Paul Band on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.